Yeah, so the other night we took a trip down to the city to catch Ravi Coltrane and his group, and yeah, he seemed to be very warm and happy to see you. You know, he was in good spirits, and we caught one of his sets, and yeah, I was just wondering if you can comment on playing with him. I know you guys have made some records in the past, played some dates, and yeah, he just seemed happy to see you and happy to have you there.
Yeah, I was happy to see him.
Yeah.
Happy to recover a more living friendship. You know, good to hear him play. Especially, I want to hear him play. So he's matured. So he's progressed, more fluent, more free, more open, more developed, certain way. We did do some recording back in the day, and some playing. So I became very familiar with him and his playing. And I was working with Rashid, so he's very strongly connected with Rashid. It seemed like Robbie spent a lot of time with Rashid as he was growing up. And of course, who better than Rashid, who spent a lot of time with his father and was very close to his father. So that made sense when I heard that story. And I think it was Robbie who said, yeah, it was like either he was like an uncle or a surrogate father for Robbie. They were that close. So I was very impressed with that. And in the beginning, when I started to play with Rashid a lot, like we joined each other's sort of like, I guess you might say, musical effort, he said, we should get a horn player, because we were doing quartet stuff. Guitar, bass, drums, piano. And he said, but he didn't know which horn player to pick because he wasn't sure there was one strong enough for us. And so he said he had in mind Robbie, who I had heard of but never heard anything about. So I said, I don't know Robbie, but if you think he's cool, it's, Coltrane's son, so it's got to have something happening, I'm assuming, right? And then he said, no, not him. He's not ready for this yet. But he says, Pharaoh will probably be the only one. But he said, I can't get Pharaoh. He said, he's too hard to get. I hadn't heard from him in years since I played with Train. And I said, good, I'll call him tonight and see what he says. And he says, you can call him? I said, yeah, I'll call him. We're talking to him. We play together. So Rashid didn't know how close I was with Pharaoh. And I called Pharaoh, and Pharaoh said, yeah, he'd be there, and he'd do it. I told Rashid the next day, I said, Pharaoh's on the date, man. He'll be here. And he was surprised. He said, wow, this is amazing. First time I'm going to be playing with Pharaoh since Train. That's what he said. I don't know for sure. I didn't keep up with him or Pharaoh as far as who he was playing with. So it was a reunion there between Rashid and Pharaoh, and that was good. And then we did this thing. Eventually, what happened was I had scheduled a trio Rashid wanted to do a trio of bass, drums, and guitar. And so we scheduled it. We were at one of the Manhattan recording studios, possibly Right Track. And right in the middle of our warming up and getting ready to play, he gets a call. The call is Robbie. Robbie's in the neighborhood. Robbie's in town. And he says, hey, is it okay if Robbie comes by? I said, sure, I'd like to meet him. I never heard him, his music, or I've heard rumors, but, this is an honor to have John Coltrane's son here, so it was an exciting sort of proposition, right? And so as it turned out, he came in while we were warming up and doing some things, and he tells me, he says, yeah, there's a lot of room here with you, man. There's a lot of space with you. And I said, would you like to play with us? It's not all written out. I said, but, it'd be great for you to play along with us. I'm sure we can come up with something. And he agreed, and we came up with a beautiful record and deep record, very soulful record called Parallel Reality. And Rashid loved that record very much, and I believe Ravi enjoyed how he and Rashid played together on that record. It was really about them, with me and Yaka playing bass. Now comment?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I've been listening to that record, and I definitely hear, very strong playing, and yeah, Ravi, you know, when he was at a younger age, and then you guys getting together, and you and Rashid having that connection, and I could see how that could be a catalyst,
Yeah.
and why he would want to be a part of that at such a young age, you know, or at any age really, but you know, I mean, especially during that time when he was able, like he said, able to grow in that situation. So there was some, you know,
The step on the path for him. Yeah, and both Rashid and Pharaoh highly recommended that Ravi play with us. And he felt it was a step on Ravi's path moving towards his father's open spaces, because that's what I was doing primarily, was keeping it open, exploring that, giving the guys freedom to go where they could go if they were open enough and willing to go deeper. Comment?
Yeah, certainly. And then in terms of the bass player, I mean, you had Yaka Don Pate on that, right? And you said you said maybe Rashid had a comment on.
On his playing?
On
Yeah, his playing, that is, Yaka's playing registered in Rashid as being, for Rashid, the best bass player for the free thing that he was doing. He said, never in the way, always seemed to be in the right place at the right time, totally fluent, and he said he's the best free player he knew.
Yeah, and you said Rashid felt so strongly about that group that he wanted to go around the world with it, or
He said that.
Take it on
He
the road.
said, this is the band, the quartet, guitar, bass, drums, and horn. Very intimate, very nice, sweet, simple, and very intense. He loved it. But, you know, of course, I wasn't interested in going anywhere, and so it didn't go anywhere. I wanted to make some records. I was happy with that. Perfect.